Today on Play to Win, it's round 2 of the NFL playoffs, and we've got it all covered. Any upsets on the horizon? And is Clemson the new standard in college football? That and more on the fastest 30 minutes in television on football's Play to Win.
Today's show is being brought to you by Mellow Mushroom, Atlanta Peach Movers, and the Orthopedic and Sports Medicine Institute. Welcome to football's Play to Win with Falcons All-Pro defensive end Chuck Smith, Falcons All-Pro offensive tackle Bob Whitfield, Play to Win expert Jeffrey the Edge Schechter, player medical and injury reports with Dr. Sadiq El-Amin, and your host, Nikki Williams. Today's hometown team report is brought to you by Mellow Mushroom Pizza Bakers, a higher order of pizza for your tailgating events.
Hope you're having a wonderful morning. Thanks so much for joining us on Play to Win. Ben Ingram here filling in for Nikki Williams. She will be back. She's on assignment doing who knows what, and you're stuck with me in the meantime. Fortunately for me, I've got a great panel here with me today. Of course, Chuck Smith, also Terrence Mathis, Bob Whitfield. Guys, thanks so much for having me again.
So it's good. You're the youngest in charge now. 38, all of us old hands, a little pepper in our beards, but you ain't got none yet. So welcome. You're the youngest in charge today, all right?
Yeah, I appreciate it. By the way, Terrence, what's happened at Pinecrest Academy, by the way?
Well, Pinecrest is where I coach football there. I'm the head football coach at Pinecrest Academy. Right now, we started a campaign of raising money for our new turf.
Okay.
You know, right now we play on this when it rains. There's some really mud everywhere.
So what you got now?
So right now we just raising money for turf, and it's gonna make us better. Make us a better football team.
That's good news, and I'm happy to be here with you guys. And man, we got a lot to talk about, don't we?
Yeah.
Well,
Oh yeah.
I know you want to talk about what happened on Monday, right?
Told you so.
You changed. You flip-flopped on us. What are you talking about?
You gotta be until the last second, and I switched to the right team, Clemson.
Yeah, but if it would have went the other way, you'd say, but I chose Alabama first.
Look, I told y'all Clemson had the quarterback that was going to lead them to the promised land, and that's what he did.
You did not say that. I rewound the tape. You talked about defense.
That's what you said.
You talked about Clemson. You did not. You didn't even speak on Trevor Lawrence.
Man, I probably told the boy had good hair and everything.
Here's the thing. You're all right. Defense, they look really good.
Yeah, that's true.
Offensively, they look great. Trevor Lawrence, where did this come from? We know this guy's been good, but this is a 19-year-old kid out there looking like he's an all-pro.
Well, I think it's the same thing as like you see nowadays. The guys are young, but they're better trained. They play at a high level of competition. But I'm going to tell you about Trevor Lawrence. I had a chance to watch this kid when he was playing at Cartersville. The kid was dominant. The kid could throw. I mean, he could run. He was the best quarterback I've ever seen throwing, kind of against the grain. I mean, he's a winner, he's a leader, but he's also physically a specimen right now. I mean, you look at them guns on his arms, and when you're 6'6", I mean, it makes him special. He's right now, looks like he's at the top of the game, the best player in college football after that one game.
His poise and his confidence was phenomenal in that game. And, Alabama couldn't get any pressure on him, so it made him very comfortable whatsoever. And his players, his receivers made plays for him, and that's what you need when you want to have a big game.
Them boys balled out.
He balled out.
Bob, I think we came into the season where it was Alabama and then everybody else.
Yep.
I think we go into next season, it's Alabama and Clemson and everybody else. You see it that way?
I definitely see it. I definitely put Clemson at the top of the heap. It's Clemson, then everybody else. They showed how to beat Bama convincingly. They showed what a defensive line can do to an offensive line, and they also showed what stretching the ball downfield with a very active quarterback throwing to some receivers. And ATN didn't do too bad. He didn't get over 100 yards, but he got in the end zone a couple times, I think 3 times. So Clemson showed how to be the SEC champ.
Man, you need to stop that. You sound like all the people else on TV. The bottom line is Clemson won this year. There's going to be a next year. Alabama's going to be good. Georgia has a chance to be as good as anybody. Like Texas A&M's improving. All right, you can't forget it's Oklahoma. They got Kyler Murray coming back. Ohio State will also have possibility of being a great team. So
Oklahoma does not have Kyler Murray coming back.
Please.
He's going to play some baseball, buddy.
Listen, the bottom line is, look, everybody wants to jump on the bandwagon. Yes, Clemson has a great program, but I'm not jumping on the wagon. College football is too diverse. And to me, for everybody else saying, yeah, Clemson, they're the best team, but it has a standard being set. It's still set by Alabama, who have had so many national titles. People are still catching up. Clemson got a few more titles to go before we say they're the standard.
Hit the desk harder then if you mean it.
I'm sorry, I didn't realize it, but I just, we're just having a good little conversation here, my brother.
Yeah.
Good conversation.
People have asked, is Clemson going to be back next year? And also, is this the end of the dynasty for Alabama? And I look at these rankings for recruiting, and they're still right up there 1 and 2. These programs aren't going anywhere, are they?
Well, if you look at Alabama and you look at their back end with the young defensive backs they had, so they're going to be relevant in the next couple of years. And then you look at Clemson, they played a lot of players this year. They're going to be relevant. So, but Alabama's still a standard.
Playoff-bound quarterbacks that leave the school, they deep in the roster.
Yeah, that landscape in college football is not changing anytime soon. We're going to shift gears and jump on the road to the Super Bowl when we come back on Football's Play to Win.
Fuel your football. Come to Mellow Mushroom for craft brews, fresh cocktails, and stone-baked pizzas. Or mellow at your own home gate. Tailgating? No matter who wins, it's always mellow for the win. Fuel your football with Mellow Mushroom Pizza Bakers.
I know I love cooking.
Hey guys, I'm going to Dave's to play video games.
Hang on.
Yeah, we talked about this. We don't want you over there.
Their internet, it's cable.
When they could get internet with AT&T and they don't?
We just want what's best for you.
Don't get mixed up with cable internet. AT&T Internet is rated #1 in customer satisfaction over cable. Switch to AT&T Internet and DirecTV. Save when you bundle for $75 per month for 12 months. Limited availability. May not be in your area. More for your thing. That's our thing. Call 1-877-ONLY-ATT.
The smartest time to buy a new Nissan is now. Save big on 14 models during Nissan's Zero In on Savings event. Get 0 down payment, 0 payments for 90 days, and 0% financing for up to 60 months on Nissan's latest tech, like Pro Pilot Assist. No brand received more J.D. Power Initial Quality Awards for cars and trucks than Nissan. It's a new year and a new way to save.
Get 0 down payment, 0 payments for 90 days, and 0% financing for up to 60 months on 14 models.
This event ends soon.
We understand the anxiety that comes with picking a 2-for-5 mix and match order. Also, we kind of don't understand. There's literally no way to mess this up.
Arby's, we have the meats.
For sandwiches.
Today's NFL Road to the Super Bowl is being brought to you by your Georgia Drive Chevy dealers. Find new roads.
Delighted to have you back with us on Play to Win. Ben Ingram alongside Chuck Smith, Terrence Mathis, Bob Whitfield, and Jeffrey Schechter joining us here on this segment. We've talked about college football, guys. Now it's time for my favorite weekend of the NFL. It's the divisional round of the NFL playoffs, and we're going to talk about all of these games. Well, here's the graphic right here, and we're going to start right there at the top with the Colts and the Chiefs. Chiefs all year long, led by a guy who may win the MVP, Chuck, in Patrick Mahomes. But here come the Colts. That offensive line last week dominated versus Houston. This is going to be a great ball game.
Yeah, I think the Colts showed last week they're the most physical team in the game, and they can run the ball. And Andrew Luck, might be the comeback player of the year, but history shows that the team that has the bye most of the time wins. So usually the wild card team, I never pick the wild card team. I really don't, because when it happens and someone goes far, it's always a surprise.
Right.
So from being a former player, remember, and Dan Reeves telling us that when you get a bye, the percentages go up, you're going to win. I like both teams that had the bye.
Okay, so they had the bye, though. However, they got a quarterback, Terrence, playing a playoff game for the first time. Got to factor that into the decision as well.
You have to, because the fact is he's had a great regular season, and this is a different pressure right here. This is you win and you keep going, or you lose and you go home. I think he's done a lot this year. I think he was very poised and made some big plays, but this Colts defense and this cover 2 scheme that they run is very difficult to find holes in that defense. So he's going to struggle a little bit until Andy Reid finds a way to get him off fast and keep him going strong the whole game.
Hey, hold it. That's fake news, Ben.
you don't like that?
What is this about pressure for first-year quarterbacks? Every first-year quarterback has to have his first game.
Right.
Tom Brady had his first game. So to me, the pressure part, you just go out there and play ball. But every great quarterback who eventually wins multiple championships, you got to have your first game, right? To become Tom Brady, you got to have one, right? To be Ben Roethlisberger, you got to have one. So I understand what you're saying, and I agree. A little bit, but
no, you don't.
No, you don't. No, you don't. No, you don't. No, you don't. No, you don't. No, you don't. The pressure is on him. The pressure is on him because he's arguably probably the MVP of the league. So with all this phenomenon behind him, he's going to think that. Yeah, they think he's going to be that guy.
Okay.
And for a young guy going into that pressure, he's going to carry that. And the quicker he gets over that, the better he's going to be.
We'll see then.
Yeah. Colts have won 10 out of 11. Andy Reid's a much better coach in September than he is in January. And Kansas City's defense, a lot of questions. And if it's a close game, the Colts got the ball at the end of the game, just chalk it up.
Andrew Luck
for the Colts.
Kansas City.
All right, let's stay on the AFC side, Bob, because we talk about pressure. You got 2 veteran quarterbacks. However, the Chargers don't win in New England. They're 0 for their last 7. How is it going to be different this go-round, if at all?
What's that guy's name, Chuck? Bosa? Is that him?
Bosa.
Yeah. You got Bosa coming off the edge, and that's the guy that's going to bring pressure to Tom Brady. Bosa and that Melvin Ingram are 2 players that can corral Tom Brady, and those are the guys that I want to see really put some pressure on New England.
San Diego's defense is excellent, which I've never said before. Excellent defense. And they're going to give Brady a hard time.
You like that Bosa guy?
Yeah, I like Bosa, but you looking, I ain't disagreeing with you. You know, Bosa's a rusher. You know, you got Ingram, he's a rusher. But I think, again, I like David Andrews. I like what this New England offensive line brings to the table. To me, Tom Brady is going to be what he always is. He's going to be a winner in that stadium. And again, I don't believe in the wild card teams. I just don't. Mm-hmm. So I believe New England, they had to bye. I believe that they're going to win. I think the crowd's going to be behind them. I'm just big on the traditional way of looking at it from a percentage standpoint. You get home field advantage for a reason because you're the better team, and that really means something.
Yeah, and while I got time, I got to ask you guys about Eagles and Saints as well, because the Saints have home field, and they rolled up the Eagles in the regular season. Jeffrey, Eagles would say that's a completely different team that go around to what you're going to see this weekend.
It's a different Eagle team now. They're playing Eagle football, and they're the champs, and they're the champs until they lose, so this could be a tough game.
Yep. All right. But the champs got a lot of injuries, and they're playing some secondary folks that, you know, first time playing off, like Chuck said, guys are having to play beyond what they're expected to do. So Eagles are going to be in a tough matchup, and I think the Saints, even though they got some injuries on that O-line, I think the Saints are just going to come out there and put another 40 on them.
Right.
Go ahead.
Well, the difference in this Eagles team is the quarterback. That's the difference. It just seems like the offense has opened up, and these guys have made more plays for Foles than they did Wentz. And plain and simple. You know, at the end of the day, the Eagles have something to play for because they did get blown out early in the year, but can't go against Breeze and Saints.
Hard to do, especially in that building. Let's jump to our football showdown.
Today's Showdown of the Week is being brought to you by the Georgia Lottery.
All right, fellas, Cowboys and Rams. Let's finish up on this ball game, Chuck. This is a Rams team that was in their building, good weather, golf, and that offense, they can fly. But man, the Cowboys looked good last week.
Well, yeah, the Cowboys look good, and I think they've done a good job. And they've gotten Dak Prescott's been doing a good job with his legs and making the timely throws. But to me, it starts with Zeke. Zeke has been the one who really has been the catalyst, rushing over 100 yards. But to me, this is about the Rams. Aaron Donald going to be phenomenal. I like the Rams.
Up next, we shift our focus to the Georgia Bulldogs, who are still in the market for a defensive coordinator. Any reason to worry? And we'll break down how the players who declared early for the draft may affect next season on Football's Play to Win.
Some of you are Honda owners and some of you are Toyota owners, right? Yep. Mm-hmm. Would you be surprised to hear that Honda is the most reliable car company?
Honda's reliable.
Well, it's actually not Honda.
Really?
Toyota. It's not Toyota either. Chevy. Based on a nationwide survey, Chevy is more reliable than Toyota and Honda.
Wow. Get $4,500 total cash allowance on select Equinox vehicles in stock when you finance with GM Financial. That's 16% below MSRP on this Chevy Equinox.
Georgia drives Chevy. Find new roads.
Get hungry. Then get to the table. At Longhorn, you already know what you've got to have. Now the only thing left to do is have it. Tonight, come get your Longhorn favorites. The Outlaw Ribeye, the Parmesan-crusted chicken, the Longhorn salmon. The feeling, the flavor, the place. Longhorn Steakhouse. can't fake steak.
Athletes of all levels experience more wear and tear than most. Stop playing through the pain. Get the proper medical attention you need from Dr. Elamine and the staff at the Orthopedic and Sports Medicine Institute. Our team includes specialists in many fields offering compassionate care and advanced treatments that will get you back in the game. From weekend warriors to athletes of all levels, we've got your back and shoulder and ankle and knee. Call today for an appointment or visit theshouldernation.com.
Today's University of Georgia Report is being brought to you by This Is It Barbecue and Seafood.
And welcome back. We've been talking a lot about the NFL, but time to shift gears to the Georgia Bulldogs. And now that the college football season is over, guys, lots of questions regarding Georgia. Bob, I want to ask you, looking for an OC, looking for a DC, got some players leaving early. Let's start with the coordinators. How concerned are you right now for where Georgia is?
Well, I know I'm concerned about Georgia's offensive coordinator leaving because he was the guy that got Jake Fromm to where he's at. He's going to Tennessee. He might make Tennessee's quarterback better. But their offensive coordinator left, defensive coordinator left. They can't find his replacement yet. I think Georgia's, got a lot riding on this, is that they have basically built a juggernaut in Athens, and they need the right coaches to get those talent where they're going to be in the college football playoffs. So I think it's going to be tough sledding because now you're seeing coaches jumping in pros and getting other jobs. So Georgia's a little behind the 8 ball.
Chuck, how much does that compound the problems, though, what happened in the Sugar Bowl? Or is that just old news and move along to the next thing?
No, I don't think it's necessarily old news. I just think the two guys got jobs that they like better. I think Chaney ended up getting $1.5 million, where he got a huge pay upgrade. And then I think Mel Tucker, he got a head coaching job. So I don't think it's really necessarily a Georgia thing. I think the places are attracted by Georgia coaches because they are a hot commodity, And do you ever want to start again? When you've already established yourself with two coordinators that the players have a familiarity with? I'd say no, but when you're bringing in guys like Nolan Smith, the #1 pass rusher defensive end in the country, when you're bringing in the kind of group they have, it's okay to be a coach because the talent's going to win, not the coaches. We give coaches way too much credit. In college football, it's about players. Coaches just guide them along.
Yeah, well, that's the price of poker when it comes to being at an elite level in college football. Ask Nick Saban how many coordinators he's been through. Seems like they have at least 1 or 2 new ones every single year.
Football invented recycling.
Right, that's a good point. And Terrence, I want to ask you about this because now Georgia also has to address these players leaving early for the NFL. Some pretty big names that we flash up there on the screen that they'll be without next season, guys who will be going to the NFL a year early.
Well, as we talked about the coordinators leaving and then we talking about players declaring early for the NFL draft, is that an indictment to Georgia football? It is not. It's a credit to Georgia football because of how great the program is or it's going to be. And some of these guys on this list will have a great chance to play a long time in the NFL. You talk about Elijah Holyfield. If he can prove himself and be like a Darren Sproles with the Eagles, return some kickoffs, some punts, third downs, and make some things exciting, he can have a long career in the NFL.
Really, next man up, isn't it, Jeffrey?
Yep, but Georgia needs to be concerned about one thing. The SEC East is going to be very much improved next year. Florida's back. Tennessee's getting better. Missouri's a good team. That's a tough conference now.
All right, well, after the break, it's time to look at Alabama. After their worst loss in the Nick Saban era, is it cause for concern, or was this loss an anomaly? That and more on Football's Play to Win.
When the food is so delicious, you make noise. Bring on the noise.
This is it.
Backed by popular demand, This Is It Barbecue and Seafoods, 2 for $27. 2 entrees, 4 sides, 2 drinks, 2 desserts, 2 for $27. Order online now. Check in. Look here. You should have stayed an egg, homie.
The smartest time to buy a new Nissan is now. Save big on 14 models during Nissan's Zero In on Savings event. Get 0 down payment, 0 payments for 90 days, and 0% financing for up to 60 months on Nissan's latest tech, like Pro Pilot Assist. No brand received more J.D. Power Initial Quality Awards for cars and trucks than Nissan. It's a new year and a new way to save.
Get 0 down payment, 0 payments for 90 days, and 0% financing for up to 60 months on 14 models.
This event ends soon.
With McDonald's $1, $2, $3 menu, you can find a little joy every day. Like the delicious McDouble, just $1 for a limited time. Can you say, mmm, and mmm? $1, $2, $3 menu at McDonald's.
Today's show is being brought to you by Georgia Lottery and McDonald's. Today's SEC and ACC report is being brought to you by Nissan.
Back on football's Play to Win. We're going to stay right here in the SEC. We've been discussing Georgia. Now let's talk about Alabama and where they are after Monday night's defeat. And I think people want to say, is this the end of the dynasty? Is that for Nick Saban? He's been here before, guys. Bob, they lost to Clemson a few years ago, came back and won the national title the next year. I think a lot of people feel like Alabama's not going anywhere.
Yeah, I don't think they're going anywhere. I think they'll be right at the top, right for the college football playoff again next year. They just have talent. They are inundated with talent. They got quarterbacks, they got running backs, they're going to lose a lot of talent, they're going to gain a lot of talent. So Alabama and Nick Saban and those guys put together a team, and those guys are always there when it's time to win some games.
He needs to fix up the defense, though. I mean, Georgia, 28 points plus a missed chip shot field goal. They couldn't stop Oklahoma in the second half, and then Clemson did what they did.
All right, so what's next for Alabama, Chuck? Just another year of really good recruiting and boom, right back at it?
Well, they've already recruited well. I mean, I think they just got beat. I mean, remember, this team hadn't lost a game. Right. They lost to a team in Clemson who hadn't lost a game. So we're so quick to all of a sudden now say they're not there. But Alabama, they got great coaches. They got a great strength program. They got a nucleus of other coaches around the side. And I hated seeing Butch Jones on that sideline off his ride. But I'm watching Butch all in the mix. But, you know, I just think they're going to do what they do, man. But I think there are some things that they can improve. But everybody needs to improve. Right. You know, so Bama, Georgia, look, they're kind of, everybody's putting them in that same category, but Bama got hardware. So I think Bama has a good start to where they needed to be. So no, they're not done yet.
Bama's a factory.
Yeah.
They'll be either number 1 or number 2 preseason next year.
And Tennessee's becoming the factory. You know, we just
when.
They have
factories in Tennessee.
I'm talking about basketball. The ball's number 3.
Number 3.
All right, so Tennessee. In all seriousness, Tennessee, Texas A&M, LSU, Georgia, Auburn, all these schools, Terrence, feel like, well, did Alabama come down a notch? They probably didn't. They're still looking at them through the same lens.
I was looking at Saban in the third quarter and the fourth quarter, walking sideline to sideline. He had a look on his face of, we'll be back next year. We'll let you have this one, but we'll be back. And, you know, you talk about Texas A&M, are they going to rise up? Is Georgia the next team? No. Texas A&M not even close to Alabama right now.
When we come back, Dr. Elamine checks in with his player injury report. Stay with us.
The smartest time to buy a new Nissan is now. Save big on 14 models during Nissan's Zero In on Savings event. Get zero down payment, zero payments for 90 days, and 0% financing for up to 60 months on Nissan's latest tech, like Pro Pilot Assist. No brand received more J.D. Power Initial Quality Awards for cars and trucks than Nissan. It's a new year and a new way to save.
Get zero down payment, zero payments for 90 days, and 0% financing for up to 60 months on 14 models.
This event ends soon.
Fuel your football. Come to Mellow Mushroom for craft brews, fresh cocktails, and stone-baked pizzas. Or mellow at your own home gate. Tailgating? No matter who wins, it's always mellow for the win. Fuel your football with Mellow Mushroom Pizza Bakers.
Some of you are Honda owners and some of you are Toyota owners, right? Yep. Would you be surprised to hear that Honda is the most reliable car company?
Honda's reliable.
Well, it's actually not Honda.
Really?
Toyota.
It's not Toyota either.
Chevy.
Based on a nationwide survey, Chevy is more reliable than Toyota and Honda.
Wow.
Get $4,500 total cash allowance on select Equinox vehicles in stock when you finance with GM Financial. That's 16% below MSRP on this Chevy Equinox.
Georgia drives Chevy. Find new roads.
Today's player, medical, and injury report is being brought to you by the Orthopedic and Sports Medicine Institute.
We continue on football's Play to Win, and I'm joined now by Dr. Elamine. Good to see you as always.
Happy New Year.
You too. We got a list of players to go through, don't we?
We do. Let's start with the Dallas Cowboys injury with Allen Hurns. As you guys, if you watch this game, this is a really bad ankle fracture dislocation. So he's out for the season. He will not be back. So this is one of those horrible injuries that they sustain where they break both bones and the actual ankle comes out of socket. So it's just a bad injury. So wish him best of luck.
Yeah, tough injury there. And that's not the only guy that the Cowboys are worried about.
You're right. You got Dak Prescott, he hurt his knee, but you know Dak had a great game, so he'll play this week as well. We also have Cole Beasley. He also sustained an ankle injury. He had limited practice, but he will play. I'm sure he will. All right.
I know you want to talk about Todd Gurley.
Todd Gurley, as you know, he hasn't played since week 15. He's been nursing a knee injury, but I expect him to play, but definitely with limited range of motion.
T.Y. Hilton as well.
That's the superstar wide receiver for the Colts. He pretty much, you know, he's always hurt. He hurt his ankle this week, but I guess he will be out there. I expect him to play and do very well.
Well, these guys under the microscope for certain going into the playoffs. Really big game because you come up short, and that's that. Dr. Elamine, as always, thanks for your time. And when we come back, we'll have Jeffrey the Edge Schechter's picks. So stay with us here on Football's Play to Win.
Athletes of all levels experience more wear and tear than most. Stop playing through the pain. Get the proper medical attention you need from Dr. Elamine and the staff at the Orthopedic and Sports Medicine Institute. Our team includes specialists in many fields offering compassionate care and advanced treatments that will get you back in the game. From weekend warriors to athletes of all levels, we've got your back and shoulder and ankle and knee. Call today for an appointment or visit theshouldernation.com.
We've owned a few different houses through the years. Your company was absolutely the best. They were so professional. Everything they did, they didn't get a mark on a wall or anything else. It was clean, it was friendly, and it was fun. And most of the time, moving is not fun. I'm going to give a great recommendation to Atlanta Peach Movers. It's always on time and it's always professional. There is no tree in Atlanta Peach Movers.
To schedule your move, call Atlanta Peach Movers today.
When the food is so delicious, you make noise. Bring on the noise.
This is it.
Backed by popular demand, This Is It Barbecue and Seafoods, 2 for $27. 2 entrees, 4 sides, 2 drinks, 2 desserts, 2 for $27. Order online now. Check in. Look here. You should have stayed at egg, homie.
Some of you are Honda owners and some of you are Toyota owners, right? Yep. Would you be surprised to hear that Honda is the most reliable car company?
Honda's reliable.
Well, it's actually not Honda.
Toyota.
It's not Toyota either.
Chevy.
Based on a nationwide survey, Chevy is more reliable than Toyota and Honda.
Wow.
Get $4,500 total cash allowance on select Equinox vehicles in stock when you finance with GM Financial. That's 16% below MSRP on this Chevy Equinox.
Georgia drives Chevy. Find new roads.
Wrapping up Football's Play to Win for this week. Time now for the lightning round. That means it's time to put the spotlight on Mr. Jeffrey Schechter.
Indianapolis won 10 out of 11, playing great ball. Andrew Luck will pick Kansas City apart. January is not the best time of the year for Andy Reid. I love Indy. Chargers are playing great. I'm not impressed with New England. I think they're going to beat up Brady, take the floor with the Chargers.
No. Rivers and Lynn.
In the NFC, the Rams have struggled a little lately. I think Wade Phillips like there's nothing better than to shut down Dallas, give it 7 points with the Rams. And New Orleans, they score a lot of points. Philly's got a lot of pride. There's still a chance, but I think New Orleans covers the 8.
Thanks for joining us on Football's Play to Win. Be back with you next week as Nikki will be back in the host chair and with this cast of characters as well. Thanks so much for tuning in to Football's Play to Win.
Today's show has been brought to you by This Is It Barbecue and Nissan.